Allow me to introduce myself. Who knows what dastardly crime he might perpetrate next?
He's a very clever arch-criminal who must be put away.
This is where we sell all the items. This is also this is the area where I've got my ally, along with a sort of like walk-in medivac area, just to get rid of the rats and stuff like that.
Now this entire base, this is basically an Enclave camp, you told me, correct?
Yes. So this is an Enclave base that has a full 7 bunkers underneath it. That's meant to be like a vault, almost like an Enclave vault, with loads of different facilities in it, like med bay and place for troops and that kind of thing. So it's like a White Springs bunker, my version of that, or my version of Raven Rock.
Okay, very nice.
So the idea of the Topside base is that it's got the bare essentials and stuff for day-to-day operations. So all of the crafting benches, medical stuff is on this side, just to make it as easy as possible to use, kind of on a practical level.
Alright.
That room that you just looked at is kind of like an operations room where we would plan, see what's going on in the world. It's kind of like my version of fast travel. You do it from here. This is like my power armor diagnostics room. So the set that you see behind you is the power armor that I run. So this is where I do maintenance on it. And there's like a little mini armory on this other side, which is the Enclave plasma rifles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I really like how and you'll see throughout this build how you integrated so many things through merging. It's actually really incredible.
Thank you.
All right, so take me through the first part of your bunker.
Sure. So this is the lobby shelter, and I'm using this as a kind of sort of gateway to all of the other shelters that I've used, and also as a kind of operations prep area. So the idea behind this camp is there's probably another 4 people who live here, and this is where they kind of live and sort of eat and prep for their next mission, do their training. So we have obviously a firing range along with an armory, which has a kind of locked door for security. So I shall open that up for you again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed building that one. On the other side is its companion power armor sort of engineering bay. No Enclave base would be complete without a lot of power armor. So we've got, I think, the full 5 display suits that you can have in a shelter, and everything you'd need to get them ready for a mission. Just down here we have a sort of cafeteria, mess hall for the troops, where they can get Enclave approved food paste out of the food dispenser and watch all the latest Enclave propaganda on these TV screens. On the other side we have a proper medical bay with kind of like integrated symptomatics and diagnostics. And then in the other side, when those fail, obviously we've got to do something with the bodies, so crematorium. Please don't think too hard about how close the crematorium is to the cafeteria. They have nothing to do with one another.
Heard that.
We absolutely do not use ex-members as food paste.
No Soylent Green. Heard.
No Soylent Green here. It's bad branding. So the base is designed to hold like 5 personnel, including my character. So this is where they kind of all live. It's meant to be a little bit fancy because it's the Enclave, and I've put some basic facilities in here as well. And I'm not sure if you've seen it, but just at the other end of this corridor I've put in a monument, just as a bit of decoration, I suppose.
That's cool. And again, you know, something we'll see throughout this camp is how you really integrate the lighting piece, and you really you're able to flex some of those colors and really do some really creative things with it.
Yeah, I think lighting is something I enjoy the most, and it's definitely a bonus when you're doing an Enclave camp to get that lighting down, to make it as sinister as possible. That was kind of the thing that I was going for. Very high tech, very sinister.
Yes, this area looks really cool.
Thank you. So yes, that kind of leads us to the next room, which will be the utility. And again, this is another kind of like mini lobby, just in case you need to get to other areas. But beyond these doors lies the command room, which is where we totally do not plan for world domination.
Heard that, so we'll go to that next room.
Mm-hmm. This is a government building, so clearly a lot of filing cabinets.
Heard that. I like what you did with the filing cabinets in this too, where they're stacked like that and the lighting on there. They look really cool.
Thank you. It's funny actually, because that, and we'll see it again in the server room, I kind of put them down there because, to be honest, I'd run out of ideas to like fill the space, and they're just a really good kind of decoration without thinking too hard about it. It just looks right. But yeah, this is the main attraction of this room.
This is more or less, would you say, like the meeting room, the planning room?
Yeah, we've actually done meetings in here, the little Enclave roleplay group that I'm part of, the EAF, and we've done mission briefs, and I'm not going to lie, it's pretty cool, getting everyone sitting around a table, talking about world domination. It's fun stuff.
It reminds
it's
me
what
of
I built it for.
It reminds me of what you would see in, like, you know, the Pentagon, or like a situation room or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like a bunker. It's very cool. Very well done.
That's pretty much the direct inspiration, was some kind of high-tech government operations planning room with a briefing room, which is why we've got the TV here. If they'd given me a whiteboard, I would have used it, but we don't have that.
No, I noticed that looked like a TV the last time I was here. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Alright, what do we have in here?
So this would be like my character's personal quarters. Like, the idea is, story-wise, they lived here whilst they were building it with their little kind of like robot excavators. So this is their home as much as it is their workplace. So I made them a nice little little area behind the command room. And that's pretty much everything for here.
All right.
So if we kind of go to the what do we call it now? Quarters shelter.
All right.
So this is the Enclave research facility. This is where we find stuff in the wasteland that's of interest, and we take a good look at it, do some science. And because of that, we have a security checkpoint to make sure nothing escapes. And if we have anyone who's been caught where they should not be, we have like detainment cells, I suppose you'd call them, where we can hold them for processing, I guess. I'll open that one up for you as well. Basically the same.
Now, one thing I saw prior, and I've seen this a lot, these heads here, are these to represent your version of Modus?
Yeah, it's funny, they were never designed for that, but then everyone kept on noticing them, and it just kind of became the motif of the camp. So yes, it kind of evolved into that. So I have a version of Modus, kind of like the White Springs does. He's called Sirius. And we will get to meet him in the server room, but his watchful gaze is all over the shelter. I think in my head, wherever you see one of these, you know his presence is nearby.
Very cool. All right, where to?
So all of this is to protect what's in the next room, which are the, I suppose, biotank holding cells. So this holds all of the specimens that we've kind of captured. Mostly Wendigos, Scorched, a couple of bears. But we're keeping them here for research purposes.
Again, the lighting, and then of course with the AC back there, it definitely looks like it's temperature controlled. This looks really cool. Yeah,
I was really trying to go for like a creepy, high science, almost like 50s sci-fi vibe. Everything's super high tech and controlled. So we have 2 floors of this, with a little decontamination arch in case you need it. And then you have the where the work gets done, I suppose. This is the autopsy room.
Now, you said there was something pretty special about the bear itself.
Yeah. So initially, those tanks in the other room were full of Scorched, Wendigos, and super mutants, because at the time that's what we had on offer, so that's what I used. And then the Bethesda decided to introduce the bears in the tank through, I think it was a mole miner event, but they kind of messed up a little bit, and the plan just kind of got into the game. And there was this weird bug where if you already had a super mutant tank, it just got replaced with a bear in a tank. And I finished this build just as that came into effect. So I came in one day just to do some touching up and found all my super mutants replaced with bears. And it just kind of became an in-joke that we ripped out one of the bears and put it onto the autopsy table to figure out how they teleported into the base, because that's not cool. And it just so happens that this bear rug kind of fit the autopsy table that I had already built just perfectly. So I was like, I'm not touching that. That's just too perfect. It was meant to be.
What I do like about this, and as we'll continue to see, is the amount of the level of detail and you know, the little nuances that really make this what it is. This is really incredible, as you and I have both talked about. But you know, we're gonna see how much you know, going forward, how much you really thought that you've put into this. Now, with that said, you told me you've spent some time on this. How long has it taken for you to really get this to where it's at today?
I think work really started on this when they released the first utility shelter. Once they said you're going to have an instanced area and you can connect them to other areas, the idea of a Enclave bunker camp was like, yes, I was totally down for that. So, but the Topside camp had already been in construction. So let's say like a year and a half maybe. And I've been building Enclave camps for maybe a year before that as like practice runs. So it's been a long time kind of passion project for sure. And I would say I've got it to a place now within the last month where I am happy with it. Like it's done. Until they release new things, it's finished. And we're going to go into the server room and we're going to meet the AI. I'm just going to stand around here so you can get an unobstructed view of the corridor, because it's something I'm quite proud of.
So explain to me what this room is.
So this is basically where the camp's AI is housed, and my thinking was, you know, it's a very, very power-hungry piece of equipment, so it needs a lot of generators, and I liked the idea of having just them right next to you as you walk through into his room, just to give you a sense of the scale of what's in the next room.
So here we are. Looks like this is the main control for Sirius.
Yeah, so this is kind of like, so the inspiration for this actually is Mother from the film Alien, that you actually have to go into a separate room and sit down and kind of like type in requests manually, and I love that aesthetic, because I think it fits the Fallout world as well. That everything is high tech, but you have to do things in a really kind of analog way. So if you want to talk to the computer that runs this place, you've literally got to sit down at a console and type stuff in, and then it will talk back to you. So that's a wonderful opportunity for building stuff in camp, because you can like really like make that happen, which is what I tried to do here.
And I really like the way that you centered that background on it too. You know, it really adds depth to what you have going on here.
Yeah, I mean, if Bethesda are going to give me that backdrops as beautiful as that, they've got to be used, right? And I really wanted to make this room almost like a continuation of everything that's going on behind it. So it's like you just get to see one bit of the server room, but it's a much bigger construct. Again, that kind of like grand scale that the Enclave is known for.
Alright, where to next?
Okay, so there is a bit of a hidden room, I suppose, because people do miss it. If you come back into the main server room and look to your left, you will notice a small stairwell, which will lead us to the missile silo.
Alright, let's go there.
So again, another security checkpoint, because again, what we've got in the next room is worthy of very high security. Pretty much the same as the one you've seen in the quarters, the research hospital. Just for like continuity, I guess. But what we've got in the next room is it's not actually a missile. I've actually tried to make it into a rocket to go into space, because, you know, Enclave, they'd be about that. And this is kind of like launch control. So lots and lots of integrated generators to generate the fuel, which would then be pumped into the rocket. And this was built almost immediately after the Enclave building set was released, so it was really kind of built to kind of showcase that. I wanted to see what I could do with it. Yeah, it's I love it. I love the set. It's so good.
Yes, it definitely is, and this is a really cool backdrop for this.
You can come down into just 2 small rooms just to showcase the generators a little bit better. So these would be the kind of control rooms for the fuel generators.
Very cool. Where to?
Thank you. Okay, so that's pretty much it for here. So if we come back into the server room, and we'll check out the engineering bays next. So you just come through here and take the first door on your right, and that will take us into the atrium. So the atrium, the abandoned dig site, and the mine, it's the abandoned mine shaft. I think that's the 3. All form like a little group, which is an engineering bay, a hangar bay, and a road, a checkpoint out to Appalachia. And this is the engineering bay. So this was my attempt at building a vehicle. It's an armored personnel carrier. With a door that will lead to the outside. It does have a fully functional interior that you can go inside.
I really like what you did with the monitors there, and the way that everything looks in here. Just it's really special.
Yeah, this was a really fiddly one, and I'm very pleased with the result because it took a lot of time to kind of get the feel of it right. I quite like the turret as well. So the idea kind of like behind this room is that everything is mostly automated. Because there's only a couple of people living here, so here you would have the refueling station. So this kind of like console controls the it's got like the wall integrated refueler. And when we go up top, you'll be able to see some more detail about that. And on the other side, if you look up, you'll see a like a resupply sort of mechanism. Giving it bullets, I guess. There is a turret on top, which we will also see. So we can get a better view of that if we come upstairs. If you kind of come across to here and then look sort of down to your left and to your right, you'll see that I like trying to tell a story about the things that are going on in a shelter. So you can see the conveyor belt with all of the resupply boxes, crates, whatever, coming into that one, and then on the refueling side there are 2 generators which are supplying the thing with fuel, just to kind of make it all fit together as a story.
So I see the conveyor belts here, and then over here you have that's kind of the refueling piece right there. That's really cool.
Generators supplying fuel. So whether that's nuclear fuel or fusion power, whatever, that's whatever it needs. That's what it gets. And that will take us into the next room, the Forbidden Dig Site, which is like the checkpoint. So keep in mind that there was a door in front of the armored personnel carrier, so we're going to go to the other side of that door, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So we've just entered into what I would call a security checkpoint, which is going to be overlooking a road, and that'll kind of make more sense when you see it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this road. I know we've talked about it and I saw it once before, but this road took you a lot of work, correct?
Yeah, because of the just the size and the of the shelter and the way it's structured, you couldn't just build a straight road. It kind of had to be angled, and that caused a lot of concerns. We got there in the end, and I'm very pleased with the result. So you can see it from there. And this is kind of like the checkpoint that would control traffic in and out of the camp, for want of a better way of putting it.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the other side of the main doors. So the APC is kind of behind us, and this is the road that would lead back up to Appalachia, the Appalachian surface.
Now there's some other details over here, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we got some weird stuff kicking around here, because it's, as you know, this shelter has a lot of, like, it's a dig site, so there's lots of stuff that's been excavated, and I wanted to play around with that. So if you come over to this side, the idea here is that this was recently built, and so we've still got the like where the workmen would have their food and take their rest breaks, and there's stuff that hasn't really been dealt with yet, like this thing over here. So I'm a big fan of like Cthulhu mythology and that kind of stuff. Big fan of Bloodborne. So this is kind of like my little homage to it. A little bit of eldritch horror, which we've had to quarantine off because we don't know what to do with it. We get the lights.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like the lighting in here. It really makes this kind of gives it that spooky vibe.
Yeah, I wanted to go for like maximum creepy factor. A little bit of 2001 Space Odyssey with the door and the kind of like an obelisk almost, and everything just a little bit off with the lighting. I must admit, I had a lot of fun building this one. It was the last shelter that I built, and after the stress of doing the road, it was just really nice to do something fun like this. Bit goofy.
That, and it's kind of fun to probably do something that's a little bit more off-kilter than than the Enclave portion.
Yeah, I'd been building like hyper-futuristic black Enclave bunkers for about a year, and it was just Bethesda gives you so many really cool cultist assets through the building, and I really wanted to use them even just a little bit because I love that aesthetic. If I hadn't have done an Enclave camp, I think I would have done a cultist camp because it's the next most interesting thing to me. So we come back into the atrium through this door here. and we're just going to head up the flight of stairs and into the abandoned mine shelter.
Now, on a side note, how many times do you see people visit your camp and just get completely lost?
I've had people message me about it quite a few times, and I take that as a compliment because it was designed that way. I want this to be explored. I want people to kind of get a little bit lost, and because that's kind of like how locations were built in the Fallout series. They rewarded exploration, and I wanted to emulate that. I wanted to sort of make people have fun exploring this area.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to take in.
A lot of people really miss the nuclear silo because of that, just that little dip in the floor. And you're busy taking in like the whole AI thing. It gets really easily overlooked, and I kind of like that in a weird way.
So tell me about what I'm looking at right here.
So this is probably the most ambitious part of the build, in my opinion. This is my attempt at a dropship for the Enclave. So I did attempt to vertibird, but helicopters are real hard. I just can't do it. So I decided to take inspiration again from Aliens and a little bit from Halo. There's definitely Pelican DNA in this thing. And it's a hangar bay designed to house it. And again, it's got a fully done interior. And the sort of general principle is that these 4 doors house power armor, which you could then get into whilst in the air and then drop, because obviously you don't take falling damage in power armor, so you can do like a hot drop, I suppose you'd call it. So on that side, you've got like the refueling and sort of resupply area. So that's like a Brotherhood of Steel watchtower, I think, that's supplying the big pipes, which I really liked. I wanted like big industrial machinery for this because it's a big vehicle, and a runway as well with the runway lights. Yeah, I think it's the Responder's fire station alarm light, because it's rotating. They've just been placed underneath the floor, so you just get that lighting effect.
That's really awesome. One thing that I think that I failed to kind of show everybody is how you integrated that wallpaper to make it look like that this bay door could fly out at any moment here, which is a really cool feature.
Yeah, I was really happy when they released that wallpaper, because it was kind of the finishing touch, making a door that looks like it's going to lead to somewhere else. It's actually a really hard thing to do, and I tried it with the Atrium and it didn't quite work, but this one I'm really pleased with. Particularly pleased with the moon, which is just a clock. And it just works. Yeah, so it's actually a doomsday clock. But you can turn it around. Wow. Yeah, on backwards, and it's just that texture when you shine like a low dim light on it. Just it just works.
No, that's really cool. I would have never have guessed that. That's really cool. It even kind of lights up a little bit right at that spot, which is perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, you have a really an amazing camp. From what I understand, you do a lot of situational stuff. You bring people in. You guys kind of RP a little bit with it, and then you obviously show it off. You said that this is one of your prized possessions in terms of kind of showing people what you've done, and and it's a lot to be proud of. I mean, like I've said to you in the past, I think that I'm a fairly good builder, but this here is very special, and I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of walk me through your whole, everything that you have going on here, because this is a lot, and I really feel like this deserved to be should be shown. So, for for all the work that you've put in, I thank you for the people who are looking for creative ideas, for just some influence, and some kind of spark their curiosity, and hopefully this will turn on some other people to some other really cool things you can do in this game in terms of creativity and builds. So I appreciate you sharing that with everybody.
Thank you, and I appreciate you coming and taking the time to look and to show this to a wider audience. People coming in and sending me messages saying how much they love the camp is like, it's my end game. It's the reason why I log on to play, to be honest, and helping other people. Like, if they don't know how I did something, I'm always happy to kind of walk them through it, because if other people get inspired and start building things like this, or whatever it is that they really want to do, yeah, that's awesome. I'm totally about that.
Well, everyone, this is Polygon Pantheon, and he is on PlayStation, so I'm sure that if you see this and you want to take a tour, just send him a friendly message, and when he has time, he'd love to probably walk you through it. But this is a really cool build, and again, I appreciate you showing it to everybody, and thank you so much. If you have any questions, anybody, please feel free to reach out to him. I give him 100% of the credit. This is amazing, and again, thank you for your time and walking me through this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.